Welcome back to my channel to those who have been here before, and I welcome anyone that's been coming on for the first time. So, this short video will be about the Queen of the South, the Queen of Sheba, as most people know her as. And this video is just show that there is more to her in the Bible than we all know. We know of her relationship with Solomon, and most of the time when she's spoken about, that's the perspective that we're told about this queen from the south and her relationship with Solomon. But the queen from the south and the queen of Sheba, she's got another side to her, and she's got another relationship with a major character in the Bible that we rarely hear spoken of. So I'm just going to get AI to read slide 2, which is block 1, and take it from there.
First Kings 10 verses 1 to 10. And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to prove him with hard questions. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices, and very much gold, and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions. There was not anything hid from the king, which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ascent by which he went up unto the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, It was a true report that I heard in mine own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit I believed not the words until I came, and mine eyes had seen it, and behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceeded the fame which I heard. Happy are thy men, happy are these thy servants, which stand continually before thee, and that hear thy wisdom. Blessed be the Lord thy God, which delighted in thee, to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel forever, therefore made he thee king, to do judgment and justice. And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices very great store, and precious stones. There came no more such abundance of spices as these which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. 2 Chronicles 9 verses 11 to 12. The king used the algum wood to make steps for the temple of the Lord, and for the royal palace, and to make harps and lyres for the musicians. Nothing like them had ever been seen in Judah. King Solomon gave the queen of Sheba all she desired and asked for. He gave her more than she had brought to him. Then she left and returned with her retinue to her own country.
And okay, so the word retinue just means her entourage, as we would say in our time. I will now pick up from where the AI left off and read Matthew 12, verse 42. It says, The queen of the south shall rise up in the judgment with this generation and shall condemn it. For she came from the uttermost part of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and behold, a greater than Solomon is here. Now, the person speaking these words is no other than the Lord Himself, the Messiah. He is telling us that the Queen of Sheba, or the Queen of the South, will rise up and judge the generation. She will judge and condemn it. Now, what this is saying is Messiah is giving her authority to do this. So, what does that tell us? Here are some things that I was able to. This is what I pull out from what I read from this small verse up here. The generation that Messiah was speaking of do not seem to be a wise generation. He was saying the queen was wise enough to seek out this Solomon, who she heard was so wise, and she wanted to learn from this wise man. However, a wiser than Solomon is among the generation, and they are not wise enough to seek him out as the queen seek Solomon. It also told us that this queen will be working with Messiah in the future judgment of mankind. She will be one who will rise up in the first resurrection among the first fruit and be given authority to condemn. She converted to the religion of Solomon and worshiped the true and living God of Solomon. We can safely assume that she introduced Solomon's God to her people. She was the first female evangelist because she brought the God of Israel into the land of the south. Now, I just want to pause and just make 2 points about this block. It tells us that she's from the utmost part of the earth, and it also tells us that she's from the south, the queen of the south. So when you think of the south, if you're in Jerusalem, you're in Israel or Jerusalem, wherever part of Israel you are, and you go directly south, you go into Africa, and you go past, you go into Africa. So it could be, Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, those parts. Many Bible scholars believe it's Ethiopia, and if some of them believe it is, they were speaking that she's from Yemen. Of recent, now people are saying she's from Nigeria. I personally kind of weed out Nigeria because Nigeria, although it's south of Jerusalem, it's very southwest, very far west. Ethiopia is directly south. We know she's not from Egypt. We know she's not. It could be Sudan or Ethiopia, one of those two. But nobody says Sudan. Everybody keeps saying it's Ethiopia. So I'm going to stick with Ethiopia. And we have Yemen. Yemen is southeast of Jerusalem. It's not directly south, it's southeast. Directly south is more Ethiopia. But Yemen, Ethiopia could be either one. I'm not going to be dogmatic about which one it is, even though I do believe it is Ethiopia. But I'm not going to say it must. It has to be. It was. No, I won't, because I don't know that. So moving on to block 3. The Queen of the South, also known as the Queen of Sheba, will be with the Hebrews 11 faithful group that we know for sure will be in the kingdom of God. I thank you for watching.